You can grow a whole crop of potatoes in a cheap bag of soil, and the setup costs about $2. Most folks keep buying them by the sack, never knowing how easy it is to grow enough to never buy another again. I'm Helen Green. Most folks call me Grandma Dot, and I've pruned tomatoes here for 30 summers. If you'd like to grow more from less, right in your own backyard, take a moment and subscribe. That's exactly what I share here. So let me show you. Now I want you to picture something with me for just a minute. Picture a plain bag of soil, the ordinary kind you can grab at near any hardware store or garden center for $1 or $2 sitting out on your porch or your patio or a sunny little corner of the yard. That bag, just as it sits, is about to become a potato patch. You don't need a rototiller. You don't need a big plot of ground turned over and raked out. You don't need one single fancy tool. You need that bag, a potato or two, a sunny spot, and a little patience. That is the whole of it. I've been growing potatoes this way for more years than I care to admit to you. My grandmother grew them in the ground, the old hard way, bent over a hoe in the July heat, with the sweat running down her back. My mother did the very same, but somewhere along the line, I got older, and my knees got a good deal louder than they used to be. And I worked out that you can pull every bit as many potatoes out of a bag, set up at a comfortable height as you ever could out of a long row. You had to crawl down on your hands and knees. And once I learned that, well, I never did go back. So let me tell you why a body ought to bother growing their own potatoes in the first place. Because I believe once you hear it, you'll want to run right out and start. A potato is just about the most generous thing you can plant. You put one potato in the ground, and come harvest time it hands you back 8, 10, sometimes a whole dozen in return. There is no other thing in the grocery store that multiplies like that for the price. A single seed potato might cost you $0.25. That same quarter, given a few months and a little sunshine, turns into a whole meal's worth of potatoes, and then some. You will not find a better return on your money anywhere, and I have looked. And here is the part that I think folks forget. Store potatoes are cheap, yes, but cheap adds up. A family that eats potatoes 2 or 3 times a week is spending real money on them across a whole year. Mashed, roasted, fried, in the soup, in the stew, it all adds up, sack after sack after sack. Grow your own, and that whole line just disappears off your grocery receipt. Gone. And the ones you grow taste like something, which is more than I can say for most of what comes shrink-wrapped in those plastic sacks these days. Now, before we get to bringing in the harvest, let me pause just a moment because folks ask me this all the time, where they can go to learn the rest of it. I have spent the better part of my life growing food this way, and not just potatoes, mind, but near everything a table needs. And a while back, I finally sat myself down and wrote it all out in the one place. Every trick my mother and my grandmother handed down to me, and the good ones I've gathered up myself since. What to grow, and when to plant it, and how to store it through the winter, and how to keep a whole family fed, from a few bags of dirt and a sunny little corner. If that is something you'd like to have by your side, I have left it waiting for you down in the description below. There's no pressure in it at all. It'll be sitting right there whenever you're ready for it. Now, back to those potatoes of ours, because the very best day is still ahead of us. Now, a quick word on when to start and what to grow, because it does matter some. Potatoes like cool weather to get themselves going. So the old rule is to plant them 2 or 3 weeks before your last frost of the spring. Though, here in a bag, you've got a little more freedom, since you can drag the whole thing under cover if a hard frost comes threatening. And if you are somewhere warm, you can plant again in the late summer for a second crop come fall. As for the type, most any potato will grow for you, but the smaller, quicker sorts, your fingerlings, your reds, your Yukons, are forgiving and fast, and just lovely for a first try. The big russets take a good deal longer and want a deeper bag. If it is your very first go at this, start with whatever has already sprouted in your own kitchen. Success first and fancy later. Now let me show you the setup, because this is where folks get surprised at just how little it truly takes. The bag of soil itself is your container. That is the trick of the whole thing, and it is why I call it the $2 setup. You do not need to go out and buy a special pot, or a raised bed, or one of those pricey fabric grow bags they sell at the garden store, though those work just fine too, if you happen to have them. A plain bag of potting soil or garden soil, the very cheapest one they have got on the shelf, does the job all on its own. You are going to grow your potatoes right inside the bag it came in, and folks always ask me, Grandma Dot, how many bags do I need to really feed my family? Well now, that depends on how much your own people eat, of course. But I'll give you a rule of thumb to start you off. One good bag, planted and hilled up right, will give you a fine mess of potatoes, plenty for a good many suppers. If you want potatoes on your table most weeks of the year, plant a handful of bags and stagger them a couple of weeks apart, so they don't all come ready on the very same day. That way, you are pulling a fresh bag every little while, right through the season, instead of drowning in potatoes one week and going without the next. Start with 2 or 3 bags your first year, see how it treats you, and grow your little patch out from there. Here is how you ready it. Lay the bag down flat and cut a good big opening across the top face. I like to leave a border of a few inches all the way around, so the sides hold their shape and don't slump down on you. Then you stand it up. Now, the most important step, and the one folks skip, and then wonder why their potatoes rotted on them. Turn the bag and poke drainage holes in the bottom. 6 or 8 good holes, straight through, so the water has somewhere to run out to. A potato sitting in soggy soil will rot, quick as anything. They want moisture, but they do not want to swim. Give that water a way out, and you have solved half your troubles before you have even planted a thing. Then you don't fill the bag all the way up. That's another little secret. You want to start with just 3 or 4 inches of soil in the bottom and roll or fold the tall sides of the bag down for now, the same way you'd roll down the top of a paper lunch sack. We will unroll them as the plant grows, and I'll tell you exactly why here in a minute. It is the very heart of this whole method. Now, your seed potatoes. You can buy what they call certified seed potatoes at a garden center, and those are nice because they are bred to be free of disease. But I'll let you in on something my mother taught me. You can grow potatoes from potatoes you already have. Those spuds in the back of your pantry that have gone and sprouted the ones with the little pale eyes reaching out, the ones you'd normally feel a bit guilty about and toss in the bin. Those are exactly what you want. Don't you dare throw those out. Those are free seed potatoes, and they are just begging to grow for you. Now, the grocery store ones are sometimes sprayed to keep them from sprouting, so they can be a touch stubborn. But if yours have already sprouted their eyes, that spray has plainly worn off, and they'll grow just fine. I've grown many a fine crop from potatoes that were headed straight for the compost pile. Before you plant, you do a little thing called chitting, which is just a countryish word for letting them sprout on purpose. Set your seed potatoes in an egg carton or a shallow box, eyes pointing up, in a cool spot with a bit of light. A windowsill does nicely. In a week or 2, they'll push out short, stubby, greenish sprouts. Those stubby sprouts are just what you want. Not the long white weak ones from a dark drawer, but short and strong and stout. That is a potato with its motor running, all ready to go. If you have got a big potato with eyes all over it, you can cut it into pieces, and each piece with an eye or 2 will make its own plant, so one potato becomes several. Just cut it a day or 2 before planting, and let the cut sides dry over and heal. Form a little skin across the wound. A cut that has dried over won't rot in the soil. A fresh wet cut sometimes will. My grandmother used to dust hers with a little wood ash, and I still do it out of habit and affection, though it's the drying that truly matters. All right. Now we plant, and this is the easy part, so don't overthink it. Take your seed potatoes and set them right down on that few inches of soil in the bottom of your rolled down bag, sprouts pointing up toward the sky. Don't crowd them. For a standard bag, 2 or 3 seed potatoes is plenty. I know it is tempting to pack in more, but crowded potatoes fight each other and you end up with a bag full of little marbles instead of a few good big potatoes. Give them their room. Then cover them over with another 3 or 4 inches of soil and water them in gently, just until you see a little moisture come out those drainage holes at the bottom. And now you wait. Set that bag where it'll get a good 6 to 8 hours of sun a day. Potatoes are sun lovers, and the more sun they drink up, the more they make for you. A porch, a patio, a driveway, a balcony, a bald spot in the yard where nothing else will grow, any of it works, so long as the good sun finds it. In a couple of weeks, up come the green shoots. And here is where we get to the real magic of growing in a bag. The part that makes all the difference between a small handful of potatoes and a whole bag full. It is called hilling, or earthing up, and it is the single most important thing I can teach you today, so lean in close now. A potato plant does a curious thing. All along the part of its stem that sits buried under the soil, it grows new potatoes. Not just down at the roots all along that buried stem. So the more of that stem you can bury, the more potatoes you get. It is as simple and as wonderful as that. So here is what you do. When your green shoots have grown up about 6 inches tall above the soil, you add more soil, or you unroll a bit of that bag you'd folded down, and you bury the bottom half of those stems, leaving just the top few inches of leaves poking out into the light. The plant says to itself, well, now I'm buried a good deal deeper, and it goes and grows another whole layer of potatoes along that newly buried stem, and it reaches back up for the light again. Wait till it has grown up another 6 inches, and you do the very same thing again. Bury, grow, unrolling that bag taller each time until the bag is standing at its full height and the plant is spilling right over the top of it. Every single time you bury more of that stem, you are quite literally growing more potatoes. Folks who skip this step get a few potatoes and then can't figure why their neighbor got a whole heap. Well, that is the why of it. It costs you nothing but a bit of soil and a few minutes of your time, and it can double or even triple what that one bag gives back to you. So do not, whatever you do, skip the hilling. Now, watering. Potatoes like their soil, kept like a wrung-out sponge, damp all the way through, but never once sopping. In the heat of summer, a bag dries out a good deal faster than the open ground does, so you'll likely need to water every day or two, and maybe every single day in a real hot spell. Stick your finger down an inch into the soil. If it's dry down there, give it a good drink. If it's still damp, then leave it be. And remember, those drainage holes are doing their quiet work the whole while, carrying off whatever the plant cannot use. As for feeding, potatoes aren't fussy, but they are hungry, and a well-fed plant is a generous plant. You don't need to run out and buy any expensive fertilizer. The water you rinse your vegetables in, crushed up eggshells worked into the top, a good handful of compost if you keep a pile out back. Potatoes take kindly to all of it. My mother swore by the water left over from boiling vegetables, cooled right down and poured straight onto the bag. Waste not, want not, she would say, and she was right about most things in this life. Somewhere along the way, your plants will flower little blooms, white or pink or the palest purple, sitting up proud on top of all that green. Those flowers are a happy sight because they are the plant's own way of telling you it has begun making potatoes down below. From about the time it flowers, if you cannot wait, and I never can, you can slip a hand gently down into the side of the bag and feel around for a few small, tender little new potatoes. Take a few for your supper and leave the rest to keep on growing. That's a little reward for your patience, and there is nothing finer in this world than a fresh new potato with a bit of butter and salt. Now let me warn you about 2 or 3 things. Honest, as I would tell my own grandchildren, so you don't get caught out. The first is green potatoes. If a potato pokes its shoulder up out of the soil and sits there in the sunlight, it turns green. And that green means it is making something you don't want to be eating. Much of it can make you feel right poorly. Now, it is nothing to be frightened of. You just cut the green part clean away, or don't eat that particular one. But far better is to keep your potatoes covered over with soil, so they never see the sun in the first place. That is one more good reason for all that hilling we did. Cover them up and keep them covered. The second is watering troubles. If your leaves go yellow and limp too early, and the soil is sitting soggy, you have loved them a touch too much with the watering can, or those drainage holes have clogged up on you. Ease off and make sure the water is running out the bottom. Potatoes will forgive a great deal, but they will not forgive being drowned. And the third, every now and again a plant takes sick, the leaves spotting and dying back before their proper time. That is usually a thing called blight, and it comes creeping on in wet, muggy spells. If you see it take hold, pull that plant and do not put it on your compost pile. It is not common at all in a clean bag of fresh soil, which is one more quiet blessing of growing this way, instead of in old, tired ground that has seen trouble before. A fresh bag starts you clean. How do you know when the whole crop is ready? And how do you bring it in? This is the best day of the whole business, so I have gone and saved it for you. When your plants have had their full run, usually 90 to 120 days from planting, depending on your variety, the tops will begin to yellow, then flop over, then die back and go brown on you. Now don't you fret when you see it. It is not death, it is dinner. That is the plant telling you it has finished its work and sent everything down below into those potatoes. When the tops have mostly died back, stop your watering and let the bag sit and dry for a week or two. That little rest lets the potato skins firm up, which helps them keep longer in storage. And then comes my very favourite moment in all of gardening. You take up that bag and you just tip it over, pour the whole thing right out onto a tarp or into a wheelbarrow or straight onto the lawn, and out they come tumbling out of the dirt, potato after potato after potato, from that one little sprouted spud you'd have thrown clean away. I have done this 1,000 times, and it still feels like Christmas morning every single time. The grandkids fight over who gets to dump the bag out. It is pure joy, and you earned every last one of them. And here is a little something most folks never think of. That bag of soil is not spent when you're done with it. Once the potatoes are out, that same soil will happily grow you a crop of beans or greens, with just a bit of fresh compost mixed back through it. Nothing goes to waste in a garden run the old way. The bag fed you potatoes, and now it'll feed you again. That is the kind of quiet thrift my grandmother lived by, and it never once failed her. Now, once they are all out, resist the urge to wash them. I know they are dirty, but hold off. Potatoes keep far, far longer with their coat of dirt still on. Just brush off the loose soil with your hands and set them somewhere cool, dark, and dry for a week or two. To cure a garage, a basement, a shaded shed will do fine. That curing toughens up the skin for storage. After that, tuck them away somewhere cool and dark. A cellar, a cupboard, a box in the coolest room you've got. Not the refrigerator, mind you, cold, that sharp turns their starch to sugar and makes them taste odd. And never in the light, or they'll green up and sprout on you. Cool, dark and dry. Do that, and good potatoes will keep you fed for months on end. And here is the part that closes the whole circle, the part that lets you keep the promise in the title and never buy another potato again. Before you go and eat every last one, set aside a few of your best, healthiest, medium-sized potatoes. Don't you eat those ones. Tuck them away in a cool, dark spot, and come next spring, when they've grown out their little eyes, they become next year's seed. You plant those, and they give you a whole new harvest. And from that harvest you save a few more still, and on it goes, season after season, year after year, and you have quite simply stepped off the potato aisle for good and all. One bag of dirt and a couple of forgotten sprouted spuds, and you have fed your family for years. That is the whole beautiful trick of it. And don't you be discouraged if your first bag gives you less than you'd hoped. Mine surely did, years ago. Every gardener alive has grown a bag of disappointments. At one time or another, it's how you learn what your own sun and water want to do. So try again, hill more faithfully, water more steadily, and that second bag will teach you what the first one couldn't. Growing food is a conversation, and it takes a season or two to learn the language. So there it is, the whole of it, start to finish. A $2 bag of soil, a potato or two that most folks would have thrown right out, a sunny spot, a little water, a bit of faithful hilling, and a good dose of patience. And you will grow more potatoes than you ever thought possible, in a space no bigger than a doormat. No garden, no tiller, no aching back, just good food, grown by your own two hands, for pennies. My grandmother fed a whole family through some very lean years knowing exactly what I've told you today, and it has always troubled me how close we came to letting that kind of knowing slip clean away, traded off for plastic sacks, and then forgotten. So that is what I am here for. That is what I wanted to hand to you today. Now, I would truly love to hear from you. Have you ever grown potatoes in a bag before, and how did it turn out? And tell me, what part of the country are you writing from, and what are you hoping to grow next? I read every last comment that comes in, and I do so love hearing from you. Now you go get yourself a bag of soil and a sprouted old potato or two, and let's you and I go and grow something together. I'll see you in the next one.